Hey everybody, it is Majin Slayer here, and today I got for you guys a remote duel regional finals that I wanted to go ahead and go over. I thought this would be good to go over since it's been quite a while since I've gone over like a remote duel featuring Phantom Knights, especially with like how long it's been. Like I think like the last time like Phantom Knights were like featured was like YCS Charlotte, but that duel was like so bad I did not want to go ahead and go over that one. Also I've just been kind of busy getting used to like a new job. It's like more so factory style oriented, as well as getting ready for summer school. And so I haven't really been keeping up that much on the meta. I'm gonna go ahead and try to, mainly just because I was mainly playing Master Duels for the most part, but I'm really lost on like what all the decks do post Difo, especially since I haven't even played that much since like YCS Charlotte. But anyways, so this is gonna be a good experience for both, myself and you guys watching, and I figured that I could provide a little bit more better commentary. Um, I'll go ahead and leave the dude's channel, the Fan Night player, down below in the description. I think his channel name is Duelist, and he'll go more in depth about like his theory on like his deck list. Some notable things is that he runs the rank up magic launch, which you guys know. I really think it's a good choice to counter Despia this format, and he does not run the Shade Brigandine, and as well as that he plays the adventure package alongside the Graphin Seer. So it's going to be interesting to see on like how he prioritizes his plays, such as if he prioritizes going for like the Enchantress line with the Cherubini, or maybe he prefers to go the BA line to play around stuff like Droll better. Okay, so as we can see here, he's going to go ahead and start off with the Rhoda. So, oh yeah, I believe he also runs two E-Tellies instead of like the most common, which is three. So he's going to start off with Rhoda at Torn Scales. Looks like he hard opened Griffin Rider and he hard opened the Magic Launch. It's kind of hard to tell. Ooh, so he hard opened two of the bricks for the adventure package. That's it's kind of tough. So it looks like he's gonna like hard activate the um Faithful Adventure. I mean, it's not bad to do, even if you have like no way to like establish the Griffin Rider from your deck for like the Omni negation. You just mainly want to use it so that way you deck thin after you go ahead and set up your board, so that way you have a higher probability of like top decking into something better, as opposed to if you didn't deck thin. So yep, so it looks like you just sent Water Enchantress to the hand, and then you just go ahead and use the effect to go ahead and add the Rite of Aramesir. I'm guessing he probably wants to debate on whether or not he wants to set up the Omni Negate or go with like a Torn Skills discard. Oh, okay, so it looks like he's gonna go ahead and use the on summon effect of Faithful Venture to go ahead and get the Draco back from the deck. Looks like he has no extender from what I can tell. Um, and somewhat tell by like the reflection of the cards a little bit. I'm guessing what he might want to do is probably use the Torn Scales effects, which is going to cut him off from using the Rite of Aramesir. Looks like he's like hard debating it. I want to say I can see the called by. We know Griffin Rider, Draco back, Rite of Aramesir. I just can't make out the other cards. Alright, yep. Looks like he's gonna go ahead and use the Torn Scales effect to discard. Probably gonna go ahead and mill an extender, I'm guessing. He doesn't have so already. Okay, I just saw launch in his deck, so I don't think that was launch. That's in his hand. So you can go ahead and mill Ancient Cloak. Ancient Cloak effect, go ahead, add Silent Boots. So summon out the boots. Go ahead, link into the Shirabini. Alright, so he's playing a little bit faster now. Just trying to go ahead and compensate for him taking a little bit of a while to go ahead and like decide between either Torn Scales effect or Brave Wine. Looks like the Shirabini here is going to go ahead and mill the Graph. Graph effects, go ahead and bring out the Seer. One noteworthy thing is that I've seen more people trying out like the Graph and Seer inside of like their adventure engine. Um, I believe there was a regional, I want to say somewhere like in California, a while ago. Granted, this was like pre-ban list, but they were running like the BA engine, I think, as well. There was some posts like on Facebook, but yeah, I liked it personally when I used to play test the adventure engine just because like going for the BA route helps you play around stuff like Lancia Duel. Looks like he's gonna go ahead and use his Silent Boots effect. Yep, so he went ahead and added the launch, and then since the boots was banished, he's gonna go ahead and summon out the Torn Skills. Um, he is technically playing hard into Nib, but it is the finals, and he knows he's going up against Despia, so that's what he's doing this line of play. He's gonna go ahead and overlay into a Break Sword, and then link the Shirabini and the Break Sword off into Rusty Bardiche. He's doing this line of play specifically, so in that way the Torn Skills doesn't get banished since it is being used as Xyz materials, and he's also putting the Break Sword in the graveyard, so that way he can revive it out with the Trap. So that way it has no Xyz materials, so that way he can rank it up with the rank up magic launch to go ahead and make it the Ophion to go ahead and FTK Despia. And then Seer, bring back out the Shirabini. And he's using Rusty effect here. So you can go ahead and mill gloves, set the Pog Blade. You can ready gloves, go ahead, tag out for the wing. And then wing, revive out the break sword. Yeah, he wants to do this during main phase and not set it off of Rusty and do it during the opponent's turn, so that way he doesn't play into a super poly. I wish he played the Infestation Pandemic though. I really like that card, but I also understand why he doesn't play it since it is another brick with like the numerous amount of bricks he's already playing. I just really like it because it's just the pseudo scythe lock in which like if your opponent doesn't get rid of a trap with droplets, you just chain your own trap on to one of your monsters and then Infestation Pandemic chain and then your Ophion's protected from droplets. And yep, it looks like he just sees the writing on the wall and then goes ahead and admits defeat there. I've also seen like a couple more people trying out Ophion from like some regional deck lists here in like North America. I've seen like on Facebook, and I believe there was like one or two players that were on it for like Peru Nationals. Granted, like Latin America Nationals aren't like the most prestigious, but it's something that I've seen people experimenting with that I personally like that it's been catching on to like go ahead and like counter Despia and even Invoked, but Invoked's not really that popular right now. I'm just gonna go ahead and fast forward through all this shuffling. Alrighty, so looks like they're gonna go ahead and start off with the branded opening, discarding the snow. So that's pretty decent discard fodder right there. Gonna go ahead and bring out the Aliber. I'm assuming he's doing this in draw phase, to play around Joel and Blackbird. Go ahead, add the branded opening. Then you're gonna go ahead and play Allure of Darkness. So he is playing the like all gas build with like the allures. You can go ahead and banish the tragedy. You can go ahead and add the adlib, I believe. Then go ahead, branded opening. Go ahead and chain Ash Blossom to that. Chain cross out designator down. So not exactly the all gas version. I guess he is running some hand traps to go ahead and protect his branded opening, as well as protect himself from like higher impact cards like Draw and Lockbird as well. Go ahead and mill the fusion materials. See what he decides to bring out here. I would want to say you bring out. Yep. And then he's going to discard one to go ahead and try to bring out. I wonder if he goes for the Masquerade or the Mirror Jade here. Yeah, Mirror Jade is definitely the better one because Fan Knights. The reason why Fan Knights isn't really that popular as well right now is because it loses hard. Because it really relies on its normal summon. So something like normal summon torrent scales, Mirror Jade Banish puts you in a really awkward spot a lot of the time. You normal summon tour guide effect, then Mirror Jade go ahead and banish the BA. Also puts you in a really awkward spot because it cuts you off from like Link climbing into Rusty, making it really hard for you to do so. And then he's just gonna go ahead and set one and pass. Okay, looks like he's gonna go ahead and go straight into battle phase, evenly match. Um, Looks like he's thinking here. Maybe at like start a battle phase. I don't know, I just feel like evenly match is just kind of weird because you want to kill Despia as soon as possible, right? Because their grind game is insane. And like Mirror Jade banish your entire Raigeki like your entire field during end phase, it's just kind of insane. And like you kind of miss like a really big choke point of Despia, which if you like OTK them like on the crackback, because that's like one of their biggest weaknesses. Because like giving up your battle phase so that way you don't have to deal with like the because if you can OTK them, you're not dealing with like all the follow up and the grind game Despia has. Because they have like that fusion monster that can like put back materials into their deck and keep on fusion summoning. As you guys can probably already tell, I'm a little bit rusty with like no pun intended with the Despia card names. Like I said, I haven't been playing that much since like YCS Charlotte slash post Alabama structure deck, so I'm still kind of working out on like all the names of like the newer decks because I haven't really been playing, mostly just kind of like spectating here and there from like friends online, just remote dueling. And right of Aramasir, so he didn't hard draw the Faithful Venture this time. He does have Water Enchantress, it looks like, in hand. Oh yeah, another nice play I think I just thought of was that he also chain or like at start of battle phase he also called Droplet. The reason why he did that is just because so then that way it makes it kind of awkward for him to like have to get rid of like discard fodder before using like the evenly match in his battle phase. So I think that was like a pretty nice play on his part. Plus, it makes it to where like he doesn't really top deck into a card he feels like he doesn't need to see. Granted, I can't really tell what's in his hand, to like fully back that up, but that's also kind of my theory on that. Looks like he is hard activating the Faithful Adventure Ignition effect. Probably wants to add the Griffin Rider to hand from deck to hand. Why can't the US have like live streams for like remote duels, regionals, you know? I should start doing these some more, if like if more regionals get live streamed. Because Europe's kind of more like lax on like live streaming, like how Farfa did like that one remote duel on YCS for like Europe, I think, back during like proto spurred up format. Now it looks like he's gonna go ahead and add the another water enchantress and then discarding the ancient cloak due to the faithful adventure after adding a adventure card from deck to hand. And he's gonna go ahead and special summon the enchantress. So like I said, another thing that's noteworthy to mention is that he does not play the Shade Brigandine, so this ancient cloak doesn't have a Shade Brigandine to go ahead like and search and maybe go for like a Nightmare Unicorn line of play, but I don't think that's really going to be doing much since he only has one card in hand to really work with as well. And plus, he's getting the branded fusion follow up by sending the extra deck monster from the it'll be in the graveyard during the end phase to be able to trigger and search. Like I said, I'll learn these names eventually. um, but yeah, so looks like he's thinking. Just gonna fast forward through this a little bit. Okay, so you special summon out Fairy Tale Snow to go ahead and Book of Moon the Water Enchantress, so that way he can't go into a Cherubini line of play. Let's fast forward here. This looks like he goes to the main phase, activates Branded Opening. Go ahead, supposed to summon out the Masquerade. Triggering out the Adlib, follows the Aluber, or the Jester, I should say, sorry. I feel like this is a wrap now. Now he's going to go into the Titan Clad. I think he's just figuring out how to go to how to go for game from here. Normal summon out the Allover. 5 monsters, all occupying his main monster zones right now. Go ahead, add the branded opening from the Allover effects. Looks like he's just checking his graveyard and making sure there's not anything that could like interact with him. Guessing this would go for a Guardian Chimera line of play. Yep, Guardian Chimera. Go ahead and pop, and then just go ahead and like attack for game. Yep, so that was like kind of like absolutely being dominated by a Despia right there. Looks like from the clock they had about 16 minutes to like side or after that game too. Okay. So game 3 now. We're gonna start off by hard activating Rhoda. Sees this and like fuck. This guy has a higher than normal main deck count. I forgot how much it is exactly, to be honest. I wasn't counting when I was looking over his deck profile video on YouTube. Rhoda, go ahead and add boots. Looks like that's our ragged gloves. Yep, we got ragged gloves. Some out boots. And go ahead and link into the Cherubini. Ooh, and from his hand, he opened up pretty good. I think I saw the D barrier as well as the Droll and Lockbird. Cherubini looks like he's going to go ahead and mill the Torn Scales, then activate the Ragged Gloves effects. And Ragged Gloves is going to go ahead and tag into the. Don't keep me waiting, bro. It's probably thinking. Go and tag out into the Ancient Cloak and Ancient Cloak effects. Okay, and then Torn Scales trigger since it's Fan Knight's banished, then special summon out the Stained Underwear. See if he decides to use Torn Scales effect before going into like maybe a Break Sword line of play he likes to do. And yep, one good thing that I noticed that he did that a lot of Fan Knight players don't do is that if you have the option available to you, slash you're going for like a specific line of play where you have Torn Scales being vulnerable to being banished via, its own revival effect, you want to go ahead and summon it to his own Cherubini points too, because it'll allow you to go ahead and play around something like Ghost Ogre, Gamma, and back when Ava was around, Herald of the Orange Light. Granted, it's not something that like, you're always gonna do in like your lines of play, but it's nice that you can play around it. Go ahead and discard the Droll Knockbird and mill the wings from the deck to the graveyard. Gonna go ahead, overlay into the Break Sword. Yeah, I mean, if he had Nib, he would have done it already. Once the Stain underwear I was special summoned out. So he links those into the Rusty Bardiche. So his line of play for like setting up Ophion is quite different from my line of play to set up Ophion. My line of play focuses more on like establishing the infestation pandemic to put your opponent on having a trap card for droplet. So his line of play is that like he wants to play around something like an Ash or some kind of negation on like the Rusty Bardiche. So he milled Ancient Cloak off of the Rusty effects, set the Pog Blade. Looks like he's using boots effect, sorry, to go ahead and add the rank up magic launch. Wait, what the hell was that? Did he just put his cards underneath the table? Um, that's kind of a suspicious move, no? Um, yeah. Um, a little bit weird, dude, but yeah, I mean, I guess you're just shuffling your hand in some weird way, I guess that's fine, but I don't know, dude. Granted, I also couldn't tell like what exactly your cards were, so I don't know if they were switched or not, but I mean you made it to the finals at this point, so I doubt there was any shitting going on. Otherwise would have just been caught already, to be honest. But he's gonna go ahead and start off with the branded opening. Go ahead and discard. Go ahead, special summon out the Oliver. Oliver effects. Because he was debating on if he wanted to Pog Blade the Oliver or not. Damn, this video's starting to be long. I'm just gonna assume he had a branded opening. Or branded and right if he already had the branded opening. He's gonna go and chain D barrier. Basically a turn skip against Despia. He's gonna go ahead and activate the Shrouded Dragon from hand. Go ahead and mill a branded opening. Then go ahead and activate the Allure of Darkness. I'm not saying he might want to go ahead and try to see like maybe like a super poly. So go ahead and like maybe super poly on the crackback once he passes turn over to him. Banishes a tragedy. And it looks like he's gonna go ahead and Duster right here. And he does have two back row set, but I'm guessing both of them, one might be a Pog Blade, another one might be, I'm not sure what the other one would be. Oh, it is launch. Okay. I mean, So he's been through two Pog Blades already. I forget what his ratio is. I know it's at least two Pog Blades, one Wings, one Launch. I don't know if he plays the third Pog Blade or not, though. I don't recall, to be honest. I was watching it late at night after I was studying for an exam. Looks like end phase. It's gonna be Rusty revive out the break sword, and then I'm guessing he's doing like a Rusty pop play. Okay, now main phase, ancient cloak effects. Go ahead, add the silent boots. Looks like he's gonna go ahead and overlay into Levier, and then Snow's gonna be activated right away with the quickness. Looks like he does have the Called by the Grave for the Snow. And he just doesn't have enough materials in graveyard or in hand to go ahead and like chain Snow again. Then, break sword Levier into the F-Zero Utopic Future Draco. So you go ahead and bring out the stained underwear as well as the torn scales by using the wings and graveyard. Looks like he's going to go ahead and mill a Pog Blade off of the torn scales effects. Looks like he's going to go for another Levier. He does play a double Levier, by the way, for the Utopic Future Draco package. Gonna go ahead and bring out the Ray gloves. We can go ahead and link all those into the Nightmare Unicorn. And then trap, revive out the stained underwear. Link climb into the access code topper. And yeah, looks like he won right there. Um, I feel like there was a more. Granted, you don't really have to play around Nibiru when you're playing against Despia, because, like I said, that deck, plays either no hand traps or like it plays very little hand traps, but they're mainly used as cross-out designator targets. An alternative route could have been that he goes for um he pumps up Rusty by 800 attack with the Ancient Cloak. Um, revive out once he has the Ray Gloves on field, go into his second break sword, and then that would be 3,000 plus 3,000 plus 2,900 with the attack boost from Ancient Cloak onto Rusty, and then maybe trap, revive out monster during battle phase to play around Nib. But I mean, that was that was still a nice line of play. Like Access Code Talker is usually like, for OTK purposes most of the time anyway. Um, I think this was also a UK based regional based off of like the channel name. Yeah, London Regionals 2022 by Sneak Attack. Um, not sure this is probably a card shop, I think. I'm not too sure. I just happened to like come across the deck profile video on YouTube and thought this would be cool to like go over for you guys. Um, I have some people messaging me on Discord as well, just to like go ahead and wrap up the video. Um, Asking me if I think that Adventure would be better currently, or if I think that like Punk's my Soul Day versions would be better. And I think a lot of it's gonna have to do with like the meta and how it shapes up. I noticed like at YCS Hartford and Mystic Mine is probably gonna be coming into the format now. Um, it just takes care of Despia really well, and I've been noticing. Whenever I spectate like my friends online like playing DB, um, Mystic Mine is kind of just pretty relevant, as well as like I feel like main decking it out is also pretty important right now. Um, so you do have like the adventure option, so, to go ahead and counter the Mystic Mine with the, in deck engine of like getting out the Draco back to go ahead and bounce it. But you're also being countered by Droll and Blackbird right now, which is being used like even in the main deck. Sometimes I've seen people testing it out to go ahead and counter like Despia as well as the Punk Therion decks. So that's something you need to also consider, as well as Nibiru making a little bit of a comeback right now. Adventure does help you play through Nibiru, but it doesn't play through Nibiru plus another hand trap. So that's also something you want to consider. Overall, I haven't really done that much playtesting for this current format to really go ahead and give a good opinion on which package I would think it's better. I've just personally been really liking the punk stuff personally, just because I find like the adventure engine to like kind of contradict hard with like the Torn Scales normal summon to be able to like go ahead and play through hand traps really well. But like I said, that's just my personal opinion from what I've been messing around with. People have been messing around with like also doing Predaplant stuff like Orphis Scorpio. I don't really like the Predaplant stuff. I feel like your hand needs to be extremely gassy and you need to like have like a higher than normal count of monsters as well. But you put yourself on having like another extender for like the Orphis Scorpio. So basically, you would need like three monsters in hand already for like the Orphis Scorpio to like be able to like play through something like a Veiler or an Imperm. But those are just my general thoughts right now on Phantom Knights in the current format. Like I said, I need a lot more optimization slash like playtesting, messing around with. But right now, things like Super Poly are hard countering Phantom Knights right now. But those are just my thoughts right now. Let me you guys know what you guys think slash what you guys have been testing with. And yeah, hope you guys have a great day. Peace.